This video is how to install bearings on the knobs of a Shimano Curado K and in the worm gear, which is this gear and in there. There's a bushing there, bushings here and here. This is how to replace them with bearings. So this is a lefty, but the righty is the same procedure, just a different side obviously. First step, remove the caps. This is how I don't want to damage mine. I'm just using a wooden skewer or dowel. Pop off pretty easy. Then there are Phillips heads. So you can see one there. It's using the same wooden skewer. There's one. And there's the other one. So nice and greasy. I'll do the same with this one. And you can see the screw stuck that time. So I'm going to clean these up and then put the bearings on. So I have my 4 bearings, and so these are going to go on the outside. I'm not envisioning these ever getting direct salt water. So I'm just going to do corrosion X on my hands and then put the bearings on. This is a little tricky to get them to seat right. So it just takes a few tries and you can get it. So I fish salt water, so corrosion X is pretty much salt and everything. On the top part, you gotta seat it so you can get the screw on. So it's a little tricky. You're probably not going to see it on video, but as in it's really tricky. Alright, so I got one on. It's a little trick I'll show you. First, put the bearing on the bottom. Then get it on. Then for the top, go ahead and put the bearing in. Use something like a screwdriver or a bearing tool. You'll be able to hear it seat in place. There we go. So it popped in there. That was the part that was giving me trouble. So now you go ahead and put it on. You'll be able to center it up much easier. If you don't get the screw backwards. There you go. So I kind of skipped a step. I took the reel handle off. It's getting a little easier. So I used a 10mm nut driver to get it off. It was nice and tight from Shimano. So I'm going to do now the video to put the worm gear in. So I've already taken the handle off, which is a pretty basic step. And then remove all the parts. If you ever see this, the felt side of the washer goes away from the body. So it's the two pressure washers, sort of. It also looks like there's a tiny brass, it's like shim in there, I'm guessing. I'll know when I get it out. If so, it's probably just a spacer for tolerance issues, which is a pretty common thing with Shimano. Some reels will have it and some won't. So now it's to take care of all the screws. Pull the spool out. A little excess grease in there. Black screws and black frames, a little tough. So just to go back to it, there is a little brass shim on top, you can see it there. So I'm just leaving this alone because I'm not touching any of this stuff. I am getting to, where is, underneath there is the bushing we're going to replace. Main gear components. Alright, so now I should be able to take out the the gear shaft or drive shaft. So I think I might be able just to pop off this clip and pull off the gear to get the bushing beneath it. I'm just going to take this out of the way. Give me a little more working room. Slip tool. Big. So if you don't know what you're doing, just a tip is when you take things apart like this, put the screws back in it, you'll know sort of where they go easier at a quick glance. And just a tip too, for fish salt water, see how there's a ton of grease in there? It's always a good idea to pack those pockets full of some sort of heavy grease, so if salt water ever gets in there, you don't have to worry about it, about your bearings or anything getting stuck or rusted in there. So as you can see, there is a little shim or a little clip on there. Let's see, a trick to get it off. There are pliers that sort of work depending on the size of it, or just a cheaper screwdriver, and there's little grooves in there. So what you can do, put your finger off so it doesn't slide off, and force it in there. And just turn it, and you see the clip slides right on out. Now I might have to take the handle out of the way. Let's see. So I need a different screwdriver. So I'm trying to be lazy here, not take off everything, but I know it's gonna work. Some fun, more black on black. The cap, and notice there's a bushing in there, a little shim for the worm, or for the paw. Now it's loose, let's see if I can slide it out. So it should just slide out, or give me enough room to get the bushing out of the way. There we go. Alright, now if I'm lucky, I can just put the bearing right on top of it. But on the 70-71s, I had to slightly sand down the end of the shaft to get the bearing to fit on. By slightly, I mean I used like 2,000. Looks like this one fits right on there. Got lucky. So okay, I'm going to pop it back out because I didn't grease it. I'm going to try to pop it back out. I'll come back. But basically, I'm going to pop it out, grease it, and I'll put it back in. Then I'll record when I put it back in. Added some more lights. Okay, so another video I have, and you can find plenty more better than mine, I had to remove these shields on these. Basically, they involve a needle, a light, some good eyes or magnifying glass, and a lot of cussing and getting in luck. Basically, use the needle to get the shield out, or the clip, pop the shield out, grease it, and then put them all back together. So anyways, I was able to get it out without having to take out the entire thing. So I'm going to pop that back into place. There's my bearing. I find in this mess where I put my clip, which hopefully is in the and remember which way I took this off too. That's kind of important. the clip on. So one thing to note on this, there's a up and a down, and it's also flat to go over only one way. So make sure the down part will go in, and it will keep the bushing in place. And we can get it on one way so it actually spins. So then that's on. Put the clip back in place. The trick here, another one, is to flat, just no teeth so don't scratch anything up. You get it on the shaft and one on the back of the clip, and you hope that doesn't happen. The good thing was everything is greasy, you don't go flying. Let's do it again. That's it. There you go. Now it's done. You just put your paw back in, screw everything down. But that part is done. So this is brand new, never been used, so I'm not worried about adding new grease or anything on any of the parts. Get the paw in there, and the shim that was on the back side. So tip on that one, don't screw it in too tight first. Just make sure it's actually working. It's going back and forth like it's supposed to be before you get it too tight. And I would still slowly screw it in. Okay. So you can see all the bushings are the same size. And now let's reassemble. This is pretty easy, but I'm going to go ahead and just get the film going. Alright, it's reverse order. I added some more grease to this just in case before. Again, I fish saltwater, so I tried to put grease in every single little screw hole that I could find. Especially these, you can see through them. As you can tell on the back side. That didn't help. But anyways, you know saltwater is going to get in there. So anything you can put grease in the screw holes helps it from getting stuck. Alright, and what do we have? Do it all at once before I forget. And this grease is some high-end Dow Corning silicone. They're pretty much this are industrial grade. That would be good. Really, really thick. Great for screws, but worthless for anything else. Okay, small screwdriver. Alright, so out of room, I decided to switch settings. So there you go. Nice and smooth, everything's good to go there. Alright, let's do it one more time, check it. Alright, so I try to put things in order in my case so I know what goes where. A little easier. Since I have it out, I'm going to add a little corrosion X to the metal. If you're new at this, ever wonder what goes down? Those holes go in there and engages the spool. So those always go in. Springs on top. main gear with the micro teeth. If you wanted to, now would be a time to add. Oh, they shipped them wet. Sometimes they do them dry. The drag washers. Okay, what's next? The cap goes on, that's in the case. Now sometimes when you put this back on, it's easier to go ahead and pull this guy out. And notice there's also another brass shim. Put that on before you put the cover on. And then sometimes it takes multiple times. Usually you put this on because of the teeth. You're never going to get that lined up from the case or the cover. Alright. So I got my 4 screws. 2 of the same short one was in the short part. The sulfur was inside. So a little tip there. And also, always you can play it back and watch the disassemble. You notice these are plastic screws, so not plastic screws. They're plastic. They're cut for plastic threads, so don't over tighten them or you strip it out and you'll be in trouble. Short one does not go there. It goes, it's almost impossible to see. That goes in there. Okay, mixed up. Again, just a little grease so you know this is metal on carbon or plastic or whatever. Shimano's new cases. So this part, you gotta get it all aligned, just takes a little while. I'll have to do this offline. So I kind of jumped ahead, but basically I got the all this lined up, put the nut on. Shimano had this thing really tight, but usually a trick is you gotta get one of the points facing the screw hole. And if it fits on, it's usually your not quite. I'm gonna flat blade go. That's good. I'll put the spool back in, and it is ready to go. That's it. I'll put some more descriptions in the tools, sizes, etc. in the description. Thanks for watching.